class today we want to look at rights and obligations of employer and employees. Every business, every firm have an employer and employee. What are the responsibilities that are attached to each of these persons? An employer is one who hired somebody to work for him or her, the owner of the business. An employer is one who enters a contract with an employee to hire him or her for a job. It can be for a long-term job or for a short-term job. But then, what are the responsibilities that an employee owes his employer? That's the first objective we are taking. Welcome to the class. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this community. Try and share the video so that people who you think might benefit from the class will get it too. It's my pleasure always being here. So welcome. Let's take the employer responsibility to his employee. Employee's responsibility to his employer. I'm going to discuss 5 of these responsibilities. 1, the employee do the work in which he or she has been hired. Because for you to enter an agreement or a contract with your employer, that means you have something to do for the individual or for the firm or for the corporation. And so you are hired to carry out a job. You have to carry out that job diligently and loyally. So one of the responsibilities is to do the work that you have been hired to do. Secondly is avoid putting yourselves in danger. If the employer have provided machineries, the employer have provided safety measures, and you have been educated on how these safety measures have to be put in place and how this machine have to be operated, please, as an employee, don't put yourself under unnecessary drama. Don't work under a place where your safety is not guaranteed. And if you have been given safety measure, follow procedure, follow protocols. Don't put your life in danger. Because we have just this one life, and life is too short. Don't shorten it more for yourself. Follow employer's instructions. Somebody who hires you have instruction of work to be done. Work done to be explained done. Normal routine job you are going to carry out. Normal functions you are going to carry out. Normal duties you are going to carry out for the organization and business. You have to do that. And so you don't go beyond that. Follow instructions. Work carefully and seriously. Work carefully and seriously. No employer will employ you for you to be lousy and lazy around. Every employer employs you to do your work diligently, seriously, and creatively so that you can bring out the potentiality and quality in your job, and so that you can deliver your best. If you give your employer the best, they will appreciate your work. And so for the duration you want to work with them, whether on a contract basis, short term or long term, you want to try as much as possible to be careful and serious with your job. No one is above mistake. Mistakes are bound to happen. But when you do your things leisurely, lousily, lazily, and you don't achieve the purpose of which it is carried out, it becomes a problem. Then be loyal. Be loyal. Every business owner needs loyalty. Don't steal from your own business owner. Don't use his materials carelessly. Don't waste the raw materials to be used to process finished products. Carry out your services with the optimal knowledge of what you know, because nobody is ready to pay for a job that is not well done. Loyalty requires being truthful, being diligent, being creative, putting the interest of the organization first and putting in your best. Putting in your best and being trustworthy. That's all qualities of loyalty. And every business owner wants you to exhibit that quality. So we have seen employer responsibilities and obligation, your rights and your obligation. Every employer have the right to work in a safety environment. Every employee have the right to work in a safety environment. Every employee have the right to be paid his or her wages. Every employee have the right to be given incentive. Every employee have the right to work within the hour he is employed, and whichever go beyond that, he is to receive an extra pay. Every employee have the right not to be bullied or to be demeaning. Every employer have the right to sue if his contract or his terms have been breached. Remember, we're talking about the rights and obligation of an employee. All right, we'll take the next responsibilities. We have about 5 here too. The employers is those who employ the employee. They are the owners of the business. That's what employer is. And so what are his duties to the person he has employed? That's to say, the person that gave you work, the person that owns a company that takes you, hire you to work for him or her. 1, give a place of work to those you employ. You did not just employ them into a vacuum. They have work schedule and they have working environment. So provide the machinery, provide the working environment that is required of them. 2, pay your employers. Your employees that you have employed, the employer should pay the employees. If you have employed somebody to work for you, please pay the person because it is their right. The worker deserves his wages. It is their duty, their right to get their wages. Work in a safe environment. As an employer of labor, make sure you provide an enabling environment for your workers. Make sure safety measures are put in place. Those that are supposed to put on safety boots should do that. Hard hats should do that. Hand gloves. If you are working in a chemical industry, put in measures that will make your workers work in a safe environment, so that the toxic nature of a chemical or the hazardous nature of a chemical do not end their life. So make sure things are put in place. Give employer notification. If you want to terminate their job, make sure you notify them before time, months before time. And if your contract is ending, make sure it is written down that your contract is ending. Treat your employer with respect. Don't bully your employee. Make sure your employee is treated with respect. They are humans, and know that among the fundamental human rights we discuss in your civic education is that every human being have the right to be respected, no matter the class, no matter who they are. So you respect their rights and respect their personality. And then an employee have the right to talk to his employer in a respectful manner. The employer's responsibility. I've told you that the employers are those who employ, that is those who hire people to work for them, those who take workers to work for them. They are the employers of labor. While the employee is the person they have hired to work for them. Please take note of these 2 points. The employee is the worker that they have brought in to work. The employer is the owner of the business who have gone to bring in the other person who is the employee to work for the company or for the individual. Well, I have told you some of the responsibility that the person who employ you have to give to you. That he has to give you a place of work, good place of work, pay your the employees. That's to say, you have to pay them their wages and salary. Work in a safe environment. Then give employer notification if you want to terminate his job. You don't just wake up and terminate his job. And if possible, if in the contract it is written, he should be paid off monetarily to fix himself. Then treat your employer with respect. Every human have the rights to be treated well. That is the obligation of an employer to his employee. Then his rights. The employer have the right to get the best out of the job he has employed you to do. The employer have the right for you to work loyally with him without stealing from him, without breaching the term of contract that the both parties have entered. The employer have the right to revoke your contract in case of any breach of contracts. The employer have the right to sack you if you don't follow the terms or rules and regulations guiding your work environment. Okay? And then the employer have the right to tell you what to do as work terms, your work terms, where you are to work, what you are to do, activities you are to carry out, your functionality you are supposed to give to the organization. It has these duties or rights that you, as the one he has employed, will give. So, in our commerce class, we are still under the business laws. What a business comprises of. Our previous class, we talked about business law. We'll talk about contracts. Today, we are looking at the responsibility and the duties, or the rights and the obligation of an employer to an employee, or an employee to an employer. They are both sides of the coin. Please watch the video again. Remember, I've told you the rights and I've told you the obligation for both. Whether you are an employer, whether you are an employee. And so if you are working with somebody who do not provide you an enabling environment to work, he's not working according to his responsibility. Or if you are working and you are not giving in your best to the person who have employed you, you don't deserve your wages. So let's be diligent at what we do. Both parties are important to each other, both the employer and the employee. Without the employer will not work, and without the employer will not make profits or work efficiently well, because he alone can never be an island that can work for himself. He needs a team, and those teams are his employee. And so his employee are the reason why he succeeds in business. So he takes care of them very well so that they can bring in the best. And the employee have to put in the best so that the employer will be motivated to give him the best. That will be it in our commerce class for today. I hope you find value for the class and you learned something. Share the video, subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you have questions, go below the comment box and ask your question. If you want to support the channel, feel free to support the channel. Give us comment below the comment box. We'll tell you how you're going to support us. If you want the classes in a folder so that you would not have the hurdle of navigating through the channel looking for episode 1, 2, 3, 4, you can head over to Class Online School to see where they are put together for you. It's just for a token that you will get it. Thank you for being my community. I always show up as much as I can, and you always be my lovely community. Know that I love you all, and thank you for always dropping by till I come your way in our next class.